Hello, everyone. Meredith Bissiker here, certified money coach and mentor to entrepreneurs. To those of you who know me and have interacted with me and have been watching my lives, thanks so much. Just wait for a minute or two for some people to hop on if they will. It is Sunday, October 10th, I think, today. October 9th. It's Thanksgiving here in Canada, so happy Thanksgiving to all my Canadian friends and family. Got the turkey in the oven. My family is out right now, so just getting a second live in today. A couple of hours ago, I jumped on to Facebook and hello, let me know you're here if you're watching. Hi Dana, welcome back. It's so cool that you're catching these. Um, I'm just stopping and thinking, are you a slash? We'll get into that in a sec. So my video from a couple of hours ago, I was talking about um, wasted potential, right? And is there a part of you that's just screaming to come out, that's screaming to be fed, that you just want to foster and encourage and get out and do something that you love. And over the past couple of years, I finally got the courage to do that myself. And I'm doing all sorts of really cool things now. So I'm 40 and I'm in a rock band and I'm learning to play new instruments, and I'm relearning instruments I played as a kid. Singing lessons. I've got my business that I love, and that's what I want to talk about today. Is are you a Slash? And I'm not talking about Slash from Guns N' Roses, even though I love him and I think he's so cool. But I'm talking about what Brene Brown in, I believe, Daring Greatly calls a slash. So are you a teacher slash baker? My daughter wants to be a famous baker slash famous actor. So that's what I'm talking about. Are you more than one thing? And in this day and age, we are so lucky because we have the resources to get out there and get the training we want. Hello, Janelle. Thanks for watching. We get the training. We have access to training online or even in person if we live in bigger cities to learn the things we want to do, whether we want to be paid for that or use it for volunteering or just to do it to enhance our lives. So I'm talking to people today specifically in this live who who either have a job and a business at the same time. That's specifically who I'm talking about, or who are considering it. And first, let's talk about the people who are considering starting a business while they still have a job. I was there a couple years ago. So after my husband and I had a business that I always say failed, but really it just wasn't sustaining us the way that we needed it to. And I wasn't able to work full time at that time because our little one had some special needs. So she couldn't go in daycare full time. So we had to let that business go. And what came out of that was a lot of trauma, a lot of hello Janelle, a lot of come to Jesus kind of moments. Oh my God, I have been an accountant for years. I've gone to school for CGA, which is what it was known up here in Canada, CPA down in the States. I've been in banking for over 2 decades, and here I am crawling back from the ashes of that experience, trying to rebuild savings, trying to pay down the huge amount of debt. And so what came out of that was my journey to becoming a money coach, because finally one day I picked up a sock from the floor and it hit me. There's this emotional tie to money. Duh, right? But they don't teach that in accounting school. They don't teach that in banking. I had to learn all of this myself. So I went and picked up every single book I could pick up. And one day I was reading the best book. I highly recommend it. It's Karen Mccall's Financial Recovery. I'm looking at it right now. Excellent book. And as I was reading Karen's intro, and she was telling her story about how she was, really, she had a high-end corporate job. She was making a ton of money, yet she was in a ton of debt. And as I was reading the story and read about how she had come out of that and repaired her finances and really came out winning and started teaching other people, my intuition screamed at me. It's the first time I ever really let my intuition talk to me. And it said, you've got to do this. You've got to get this message out. And all these faces of my friends flash in front of me. And I thought, I'm the friend who my friends come to when they're experiencing money problems. So long story short, that's how I got into money coaching. But it kept niggling at me and niggling at me. You need to do this. You need to do this. And I resisted because I had already had a business that went down in flames. And yes, I had experienced trauma around that. And I thought, I'm never going into entrepreneurship again, ever. I'm never going to own another business. It's not safe. I'm not going to do it. And I remember sitting at my desk at work. So I work in government finance. And one day there was this, just like, this isn't enough for me right now. And if it's impossible to find a job that's going to fulfill every single want and need you desire. So if you're looking for that in a job, stop. But what you can do is have your job and do other things in other parts of your life. And so I started my business. Obviously, I'm a money coach now, and that's what I do. And I work part-time in my government job. A lot of people work full-time and have their other business. And I don't like saying that my business is on the side. A lot of people say they have a side business, and maybe that's true. Maybe in proportion, the hours that they put toward their business is less. Maybe the money they make from their business is less. For me, the money I make from my business, it actually is the same or more now. And the beautiful part about that is that I can reinvest my money in my business back into my business. And I have my job that pays the bills and keeps me sane because I'm not worrying about money. Because money worry, money anxiety eats away at your creativity. So I never encourage anybody to just jump ship, quit their job, unless it's soul sucking. If you can find another job that will feed your soul and keep your finances afloat, great, do that, but don't stay at a soul sucking job. Do what you need to do to move. I've had to do that. My husband and I have had to do that. It's not the right way, but I've just gone off on a tangent. I digress. So talking about our businesses being on the side, is your business on the side? I know mine is not on the side. Mine is equal to my job, and I make it work. And that's a tough one. I've had to really finesse the way I manage my time with my business. I'm very protective about my time, especially during the day, because I have children and I want to be with them during the day and I want to be full attention. So it means that this night owl, this person who's talking to you right now, who likes to go to bed at 1 and wake up at 9 in the morning, if I could just be left to my own devices, that's what I would do. I now go to bed at 8 and wake up at 5 so that I can work a few hours in the morning and then have the rest of the day to myself. It was quite a shift, but I prioritize my time and I'm protective about my time. And I've had to say no time and time again to people because there's certain things that just aren't a priority. So I've getting back to your business. How do you talk to other people about your business when you have a job? Because I know that a lot of people don't feel like other people are going to take them seriously if they have a side business or if they have a full-time job and they have this other business that they're dreaming about, because a lot of people don't get entrepreneurs. So the first step is to just try to pull yourself away from what other people are thinking. I know, that's so easy, right? Just stop worrying about what other people are going to think. Yeah, it's not that easy and it takes some practice, but as you go along and you start experiencing what it's like to follow your own path and make your own decisions, it feels so good and you don't even care what other people think anymore. As long as you're not hurting loved ones, as long as you're not doing something that is in the end going to affect your children or your partner or your spouse or whatever, then you need to do this. You need to do this now. You need to pursue this. So I had a question from a client a couple of weeks ago. I see a little piece of fuzz going around. Squirrel. I'm try to get that out of the way. I had a client say to me a couple of weeks ago, I love her. I love all my clients. She is a photographer slash engineer. And she said, how do I get people to take me seriously? How do I get my engineering friends to take me seriously when I say I have a photography business as well? And how do I talk to other people, other moms and other people I meet and tell them I'm an engineer and a photographer? It's going to confuse them, or they're not going to take the photography part seriously. And so we had some really good conversations around that. And if you can relate to any of this, please let me know. I'd be very curious because this is something that a ton of people have trouble with. How do you tell people? I didn't want to tell people I was a money coach. I remember getting my cards after I got my certification and going to the pumpkin patch. So this is 2 years ago, and handing my cards to my friends saying, I'm a money coach now. So if you have any money problems, just give me a call. Or if you know anyone, have them give me a call. That didn't really quite work in my favor. But that's what I did. But I felt very trepidatious. I didn't have confidence in my skills yet, number one. That's huge, huge. To get out and have the practice saying it and doing what you do, the confidence is really huge because now I tell everyone that I'm a money coach. I tell everyone what I do, and then you can gauge their interest. If they don't seem interested, I'm not going to go on and on about it, but I make sure I tell everyone I know that this is what I do, and this is what I encourage my clients to do. So back to my client, the photographer slash engineer, or engineer slash photographer. First of all, we looked at how, thank you for the like, we looked at how photography and engineering fit together. And they really, really do. In fact, her project, when she went to school for engineering, was about, no, I'm not an engineer, but it had something to do with cameras. So I'm sorry if you're watching right now, my client who's a photographer slash engineer, I apologize for not being very technical around this, but when we were able to fit it together so she could see that it made sense. She didn't have to explain that to other people, but even that was a little bit of um, a confidence boost, is what I'm trying to say. So then we talked about how she was going to have this conversation with people. And she actually practiced. After we had this session, she got back to me. She said, oh, I practiced it with a mom at dance. And she said to someone, I'm an engineer and I'm a photographer. And she said it in her own way with her own words. And she said it felt really, really good. And so she is an engineer and a photographer. She's not an engineer who does photography on the side, and she's not a photographer who does engineering on the side. She is both of those. And now, in this day and age, we can be both of those. And we can be paid to do both of those. And we can be confident about that. We have the technology to be more than one thing. We don't have to have that 9-to-5 job anymore. And we don't have to have our ego buried in that 9-to-5 job. We can go out and pursue what we want to do because we have the resources, at least here in the Western world. And as women, we're super lucky because we can get out and explore this as well. So I hate to just say anybody can do this because it's not true. But those of us who have the privilege to live where we live here in the Western world, we can get out and learn the things we want to learn. So if you are thinking about starting a business, if you get butterflies when you think about something, if the whole idea really excites you but you haven't talked to anybody about it, hello Sonia, if you haven't talked to anybody about it, find a confidant who you can speak to about this. Find someone who has done the same thing as you, who has worked a job and started another business, or who has worked a job and started a business like yours. Here's something else I was thinking about today. Hey, Christina! I was thinking about how it's totally acceptable in our society to have a full-time job and to volunteer our butts off. Totally acceptable. But when someone has a full-time job and has a side business, then people don't take those side businesses seriously. What is the deal? Is it because we're getting paid? Is it because we want to make money? Is it because people have a problem with us having a job and wanting to make more money outside of our job? As a money coach, I'm super curious about this question, and I'd love to hear your feedback on this. And if you're writing comments, I can't see them right now, and I'll get back to them a little later. But think about that. If you said, I want to be an engineer, and then I'm going to go out and be a volunteer photographer for a local children's organization, everyone would think you were wonderful. But sometimes people won't take it seriously if you say you have a photography business. Oh, that's so cute. You have a photography business. Or that's so cute. You do money coaching. That's so cute. You sell this on the side. Right? There's all these pressures from outside that really mess us up in our head and stop us. Stop us. So the first trick is, and this is what I do with my money coaching clients too, when we're starting to bring awareness to their relationship with money, is they start listening to what's going on in here. So they'll journal, or they'll talk to themselves, or they'll ask questions. Asking yourself questions is far more powerful than even saying affirmations. All of that, being self-aware. So when you're feeling like you're hitting a wall with your business because of others, what are other people going to think? Or you don't think that other people are going to take you seriously, but you so badly want to do what you want to do, start listening to who's in your head, who's telling you not to do this, because it's not you. It's somebody else. Somebody else you grew up with. It's somebody else who you know now. Maybe it's your boss. Maybe you feel guilty because you think, maybe if my business takes off, I'm going to have to leave my job. Maybe there's some of that. What's worse, being stuck at your job for the rest of your life, or having a business and doing the two at the same time for a couple of years and being able to suddenly just work on your business and fill your passion? Just some thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below. I'll come back to this live a little later. This is a super important conversation. I know it stops a lot of entrepreneurs in their tracks. I have an upcoming course called Stop Giving It Away, Get Paid, and we are talking about this exact thing, plus a million other things in the course as well. It's 4 weeks. And if you're feeling like you're getting stuck, you lack the confidence around saying your price out loud, you lack the confidence in even saying this is what I do, then reach out to me and we'll talk a little bit. And you can meet me for 30 minutes. We can just have a chat and see how I might be able to help you overcome the obstacle that's stopping you from asking to be paid full price for doing work that you love. Thanks everyone who tuned in. Thanks for the people who watch a replay. And we'll check you guys out tomorrow, or you'll check me out tomorrow when I have another fabulous live out there. Have a good Thanksgiving, everyone in Canada. Otherwise, enjoy your Sunday, everyone else in the world. Bye.